Good morning, guys. How is your Monday? Ready to start another week? Let's make some lunch today, guys, and we're gonna make some cannabis-infused treats later in the stream. Pretty excited about that. And if some of you were not in stream yesterday, we had a very generous donation, which in turn gave us enough money to go to New York in less than a month, guys. So the bottom donation goal is for a little bit of cash so we can go out to eat in New York and do some streaming with you guys. So there's a lot of food to be eaten, obviously, in New York, and that would just help us out a little bit so that we can eat more things and show you guys what's up. So that's that. The goal for the NYC flight was crushed yesterday. Let's just say that. Anchovy, how are you? All is well in the world. Aww. I have been well. How have you been doing? Carrot Potato, welcome in. Aw, you guys, so much love this morning. Thanks. Maybe you saw my shirt. Spread the love. Spread it, guys, like peanut butter. Okay, so first things first that we gotta do today, we're going to infuse some butter with some cannabis. So just hold tight, guys, okay? Cannabis is now legal nationwide in Canada. So I know a lot of people are kind of iffy on this, and I want to open your mind to how a lot of people actually use cannabis. It's not actually to get high. Like, obviously that's a side effect, but cannabis is said to, like, actually help people with disease. So if we looked at it that way instead, I think there would be a lot more, like, negative thoughts towards it. Because I don't know if I can compare it directly to the legalization of alcohol, but it's basically one and the same at this point in Canada. Obviously, there are some laws in different provinces that are not the same as alcohol, but I would like to compare it that way for sure. And in my opinion, it's healthier for you than alcohol. I think there's less negative side effects than drinking alcohol. So please just keep an open mind, because this is my first time ever cooking or baking really with cannabis, and I'm gonna try and do it like the most educated route as possible. I'm not just baking these cookies to get high off of it. There's a lot more involved in each cannabis strain, and the main thing that I read up on last night, so I'm just kind of divulging into this book called Bon Appetit, Mastering the Art of Cooking with Weed. So the big thing about cooking with weed is called terpenes. And there's different amounts of terpenes in every strain, and the terpenes are actually what help you, but at the same time, each person is affected by every terpene differently. So this is where we can kind of play around with different strains and figure out which terpenes work the best for us to maybe help with anxiety or depression and stuff like that. Oh, anchovies. Seriously, so excited. I think I was honestly shocked yesterday on stream. I would, like, the excitement wasn't even there. It was literally just being shocked. But now, like, I'm so excited to go. Less than 30 days. Welcome in, Vune. How are you? Alcohol is only legal because we drank it since the Middle Ages. Yeah, because alcohol was a million times cleaner than the water. It's so true. So, like, to each their own. I will say this, obviously, whether you're consuming alcohol or cannabis, just use it sparingly. You guys don't have to go all out and get, like, messed up and end up in the hospital from this. What happened on stream yesterday? Vune, we had, like, a $523 donation for New York. So someone literally just crushed the rest of our flight goal yesterday. So we got the full amount for our flight. So, like, we are seriously going now. This is a thing. And then that also gave us a little bit of extra money to, like, buy the power packs and stuff for our streaming while we're there. We got a doggo. Doggo just woke up. Doggo and Sammy. She's being a baby. Okay, so bon appetit, guys. Let's divulge a little bit further. I did do a little bit of reading last night. And this book, I have to say, this book is really good. They tell you basically everything you need to know about cooking with weed. And I didn't even get that far, really. But we're going to do flour-infused butter today. Do I even have enough space for all the power packs you're going to need? Yeah, that's why I have a Sammy.
I'm just the pack mule.
Yeah.
Carry everything, you beast. Rawr.
Okay, so wheat-infused butter. Yeah, Sammy. We'll trade. We'll do trade-offs.
What are you doing? How are you?
Good. Okay, so 3/4 of a cup of butter. We're actually going to go off of how much flour we have. So here's the other thing. Cooking with weed. Obviously, you don't need to get super expensive versions of it. There's all different kinds of versions, whether you have trim, flour, keef, concentrates, whatever. You don't have to go super high end though. But you can. If you have the money, totally go for it. So here, when things were getting a little bit wonky with legalization, Sammy and I purchased a bunch of flour just because we were told we wouldn't know when it would be back in the dispensaries here. So we've got a little bit extra, and it's dried out over time. So it's not the best for smoking at this point. So that's when you can decide to use it a different route and use it in cooking.
I like how there's a coffee just sitting at the computer for me.
I did good this morning, guys. Made us coffees. Sammy was still sleeping. Put it at his computer desk.
Okay, Shmooku, I'll let you out.
Vune, you'll be on and off. You're cooking. Risotto and Viennese chicken schnitzel. Yum. You need to go to Amsterdam. Okay, so that's that. And so it gives us here. Let's do this. You guys, the large. We'll just put this aside for now. Got a little bit more stuff to talk about. So the way the recipe is broken down is it gives you the amount of THC in milligrams, which to me is the most important because that's what is going to mess you up. That is the psychoactive chemical in there that makes you high. So it's really good. You should be aware of how much you're putting in to your infusion. Otherwise, yeah, things can go bad. Like, I've seen on the news people going to the hospital because they got too high. So we don't want that to happen.
I don't go to the hospital because I got too high.
You did?
No.
Oh, no.
I said I'm going to.
No, you're not. Okay, so what we need for this recipe, if I flip to the cookies, it says we need 4 tablespoons of flour-infused butter. So only 4 tablespoons. So let's weigh out how much flour we need and then go from there. So it says 3 grams of flour, which I think we actually have that exact amount, or 1 gram of raw keef, guys. And then it says use a cup of butter. So for every tablespoon of flour infused butter, we're gonna get 16.7 grams of THC in there, which obviously I'm not super familiar with this, but I think that's quite a high amount. But it also depends on the type of strain you're using. So some strains will have more THC, some will have less. And then you can also switch this up, and if you just want like the calming effects, you can go with a CBD concentrate, and then you won't actually get high from it.
And then you can just buy the oils already or shatter at the same time to do as well.
Anchovy, one can never get too high. I don't know about that. I mean, I got really high in Amsterdam, and that was not on purpose. So that's what happens to people. Let's just talk about this for a sec. Like, everyone's like, yeah, weed is legalized. Obviously, here in Canada, there's no edibles to be found anywhere at this point. No edibles, nothing. Not allowed. I don't know why, but it's not a thing.
Canada Health.
It's just the regulation.
Yeah.
But give it time. I think eventually it'll get to that. Obviously, in the States, a lot of places you can buy edibles. And the thing is most people are just like, yeah, buying an edible. Let's eat all of it and see what happens because I've never done this before. So it's like when you're not educated, you can get in trouble really quick. And I almost got to that point for sure. Like, I was traveling alone in Amsterdam, and I definitely ate way too much of an edible. It was a lemon cake. And I didn't really even smoke back then. But I wanted to try it. And then I figured out afterwards the consequences. But I think I should have educated myself much more beforehand before I did that. Or maybe even talked to, let's say, the bud tender is what they're called. Holy shit. It's been 30 years for you. You wouldn't know how to react if you did it nowadays. Yeah, that is good to know. So that's the keef, guys. So that's basically like pure THC almost. But we're gonna use flour. Okay, so carrying on. It says use the same method to infuse butter that you would to infuse oil. So they use olive oil or coconut oil for their oil infusions, which we'll get into that more another day. I'm gonna do the butter today. For the most efficient infusion, purchase European style butter. Okay, did not do that first off, guys. This has a higher butter fat content than conventional butter. Ooh, okay. We store the finished butter in a jar, but you can also freeze it in an ice cube tray, which makes it easier to measure consistent doses. Although the infusion process doesn't do much to activate the THC in keef, we find that butter infused with keef tastes the best, making it perfect for diners seeking a low THC dose, but with excellent flavor. It is ideal for simple applications that call for larger amounts of butter, such as drizzling over popcorn or spreading on a piece of toasted bread. The flour-infused butter works well for baking, as it has relatively low potency and a pleasant but distinct cannabis flavor. Use it in the brownies for the sundae or in the adult celebration cake. The song Paranoia Will Destroy You comes to mind. I love it. I mean, I might lose viewers for doing this. I don't really know. I think it's about half and half in society now, with people that are like okay with the legalization, and then there's just the other people that are like, no, this is not a thing. And that's fine, but I like to try new stuff, especially when it comes to cooking. So we're just gonna carry on, guys. It says pour the butter into the canning jar. So 1 cup of butter melted. We have our canning jar here. This is the decarboxylation process, guys. So you need to decarboxylate your flour or your keef first to activate that THC compound in there. If you don't do this, let's just say you'll basically waste your weed and you won't get the effects from it. So this is a really important step, and it does take time. So this takes a little bit of preparation. So add your cannabis and butter into the jar, seal it tightly, stand the jar upright in a stock pot, so a tall pot, and add water until it's level with the top of the jar. So you need enough water to get to this. So you need a pretty tall pot. Place the stock pot uncovered over high heat, bring to a gentle simmer, and then we simmer that for 2 hours, guys. Gotta check the water every now and then, and add more to maintain the even level with the top of the jar. Make sure it never reaches a full boil. After the first hour, burp the jar by unsealing the lid to release any pressure buildup, and then recap it. So we'll set an hour timer. That'll be halfway. Burp it and then do another hour. After 2 hours, lay the kitchen towel on a heat-proof work surface. Using an oven mitt, remove the jar from the water, set it on the towel, and let it cool until it can be handled. Then, while the butter is still liquid, line the strainer with a cheesecloth and strain the butter into a measuring cup, squeezing any solids at the very end to extract all of the butter. Compost or discard the plant matter. If you use keef, you don't need to strain it. And this will keep for up to 2 weeks in the fridge and 3 months in the freezer. Yeah, this is so new to me, anchovy. Like super new, and I love science and cooking, so to me this is like more scientific kind of.
I'll just reap the benefits.
Yeah, Sammy will be the taste tester. Hey, Indog, how are you?
It'll be like, no, Caitlin, this will get you too effed up.
Yeah, new camera is being used. It's true, Indog. It looks so good.
Hey, Indog?
So good.
No more webcams. Except for the rotisserie and the grill now.
Yeah, the webcams can be used for fun stuff. Extracurricular activities. So we got some unsalted butter. Chocolate, that's a really good question. And you can use a sous vide to decarboxylate it. It just takes a long time. It takes like 4 times the amount of time as doing it in the jar. We'll explore that route for sure one day when we have a lot of time. But for now, I'm gonna do like the most simple infusion. Not exactly legal to try it in your state. Yeah, it's a good thing.
Not yet.
Gotta take it slow. Okay, so 3 grams of flour. We're gonna carefully put this away. So, all of these are 1 gram. Little baggies. This is how they sell the flour here. So we actually do have a little bit extra. That's a good thing. And should I do 2 Lindsays and 1 time work? Or do the 2 time works and 1 Lindsay?
Do what?
Well, I only need 3.
Leave that one then.
Yeah.
You
So
3 grams?
3 grams.
Okay.
So we have 2 time work grams, which are pretty cheap. We bought them at like under $5 a gram. It's pretty easy weed to smoke. This one, obviously the price point, you can tell that it has a higher concentration of THC in it. It's a little bit more powerful. It's $13 a gram. Theraveda Lindsay OG. So this is all the flour that we're going to use today. Let's measure out our cup of butter. And so guys, when we are only using like 4 tablespoons of the butter infusion in a recipe, obviously that's going to last you more than 1 recipe, right? The lights really help. Hell yeah, they do. Plus it helps when it's sunny outside too, Anchovy. You live in the crap state of Texas. Yeah, but you have
Those
barbecue.
lights will really help. We're talking about...
Oh, okay. Hey, Piloty. How are you doing? Okay, so.
Oh, yeah.
Monastache.
Good morning, Monastache.
Thank you so much. 3 months in a row. Good morning to you as well. To you and Graham, if he's around. Thank you so much for the resub. I love having you a part of the Onion fam. Hope you are well. My lines got messed up on my butter. So I want to make sure that this is the most accurate. And then we got to melt this first before we put it in the jar. Melty. Graham is researching pork buns. Oh.
Just do momofuku ones, they're good.
What kind of pork buns? Should I ask Monastache? Are they steamed? Are they fried? Are they bows? The list goes on. Okay, 30 seconds. Let's get our jar. Am I making weed brownies? We are making chocolate chip sea salt cannabis cookies from the awesome book called Bong Appetit. I'm just kind of getting into this, so bear with me, guys. This is new. This is a new thing in the chef life. Okay, a little bit more. But there are... So in Vancouver, I've already seen pop-ups for cannabis-infused dinners. Like, people are already doing this, even though there is no legalization for that such thing. People are already getting into it. It's insane.
I think that's okay because, well, like a pot shop doesn't have a kitchen, right?
Yeah.
You're just getting in stuff. If a restaurant did weed on a menu, it'd be fine because it'd be sanitary, right? We know
That's
how to do
true.
it right in the kitchen.
That's true.
Like in Seattle, I think there's a place that does weed gravlox.
Yeah, I don't know. I think everything will come with time. Just the government is super overwhelmed right now as how they want to basically control everything. I don't think they like anticipated how big this was gonna get so quick. Steamed pork buns. Your roommate Brian bought a steamer basket and then redeemed the menu to have Graham use it for buns. Amazing.
That's the greatest way to use your as your roommate. Oh,
Monastache, it did come from the show. So yeah, they wrote this book from the show. And it is from like Vice. And at the bottom, as you can see, it says from the editors of Munchies. So we got our melted butter here. Already put 1 gram of flour into the jar. We need 3 all day. And so for half of this, for half the cup of this infused butter, you're gonna get 133 grams of THC, or milligrams of THC. But we're only gonna use 4 tablespoons. And obviously you can totally add less and add more regular butter if you're not sure how this is gonna turn out for you. So take it slow, guys. You don't have to just go all in. You're actually allergic to weed? That is interesting.
minus 20? Holy. I don't miss those days. Not at all.
You attempted to watch the show, Monastache, but it went really over your head. The show is like kind of what first sparked my interest in this. And I watched them make the butter like this on the show.
With the weed granny.
But obviously here it wasn't legal yet, so I was just like, oh, that's cool. So now I want to get into it. I mean, if I can help people with edibles and stuff, I know a lot of people use edibles for like pain and stuff like that for relaxation. So why not try? I mean, food is like very nourishing for both your body and mind, right? Nezodam, how are you? Minus 20C, please send help. So this process infuses the butter with the THC, and it's also called decarboxylation. If I can find it here. Okay, so I'm going to fill up our stock pot with water and get that heating up while I kind of explain to you what's going to happen in the process. That's good. Turn that on like medium high. You're hoping it would break it down more like a documentary. Yeah. Gotta decarb it. Yeah, what an interesting word, hey? Decarboxylation. So fresh picked cannabis won't get you high if you eat it, because the non-psychoactive THCA found naturally in the plant has to be heated before it transforms into the version of THC that very much does get you high. So it gets converted. So a non-psychoactive compound, THCA, when heated, converts or transforms into THC. This happens instantly when you smoke a joint, and over a longer period of time when you activate cannabis before infusing it into food. So also known as decarboxylating in chemistry terms, this process simply means removing the carboxyl molecule found in the THCA, so the non-psychoactive acidic form, thereby transforming it into the fun kind of THC.
Fun kind.
So we're removing a molecule, which then in turn lets us get high. So you can decarboxylate cannabis a few different ways, including quickly at a high temperature or slowly at a low temperature. Low and slow has been the traditional favorite, as it minimizes the risk of burning your precious weed. Keep in mind that THC boils off at 314 degrees Fahrenheit, so you should never really come close to that danger point anyway. The food's done, Vune. Now it's just time to eat all of it. Rook, hi, how are you? Welcome in, man. So terpenes are even more volatile with delicate caryophyllene. These are some words, guys. This is so scientific. With a molecule that evaporates at 246 Fahrenheit. So really high heats, we shouldn't worry too much about actually burning the weed. So preserving as many cannabinoids and terpenes as possible means using a low temperature. So that's the good stuff in there. That's the stuff that actually helps us. So we want to preserve all those good things, right? So timing is also important, with 30 to 60 minutes typically recommended for a successful decarb. Remember that heating your cannabis for too long will result in THC converting to CBN, leaving you less high and a lot more sleepy. Plant material with a higher moisture content will need longer to decarb than keef or hash, so keep that in mind when using an extract or hash for cooking. If you are pressed for time, you can crank up the temperature to 300 Fahrenheit and toast or bake the plant material to 10 for 15 minutes. Though you'll be losing more of the good stuff, the terpenes in there. So you don't want that. We're gonna do low and slow today. Do it right. You forgot about your coffee and now it's just warm. Yeah, mine is like cold, but still delicious. And it may or may not have Irish cream in it. So you wouldn't want to deep fry something in can of butter. No. Sam's talking to the rooster outside. Because that's going to be too high of a temperature and you're just going to end up burning all the stuff out of it. So deep frying in can of butter, I don't think that would work, Chocolate. That's why you always drink coffee before you drink your coffee, so you'll be awake enough to not forget it. Okay. So the sous vide method, guys. So, relatively recent culinary trend in which food enclosed in a vacuum-sealed bag is immersed in a hot water bath to cook at a precise, continuous temperature for a specific amount of time. The technology is tailor-made for infusing cannabis, which requires precise temperature control to maximize the THC extraction, but control the bitter flavors that can come from over-extraction. You will need an immersion circulator and, ideally, a vacuum sealer to try this method. So keep that in mind, guys. A little bit of investment here, but if you have one at home, go for it. With this method, there's not really a way to over-extract the material because you're setting it at a temperature that is low enough that you'll never have to burn it, right? It's gonna stay at that same temperature the whole time. And that's also why chefs love to use a sous vide, is because we can literally set it and forget it. If you don't have 6 hours to sit by the stove as it decarboxylates in the pot. So what we're gonna be doing is vacuum sealing the cannabis in a food safe plastic bag. There's no fat in there to begin with. So just your flour, keef, trim, hash, whatever. Set your sous vide to 200 Fahrenheit. Immerse the sealed bag in the hot water and allow it to simmer for 4 to 6 hours. Simmer longer for larger quantities. Then to make the infusion in a food safe plastic bag, combine the decarboxylated cannabis. So after 4 to 6 hours, you then combine your cannabis with your fat. Revac the bag, immerse it in the hot water again, and simmer it for another 4 to 6 hours. So that's what I mean. It's like 4 times the amount of time in this immersion circulator. But it's not like you have to watch it the whole time. Whereas like while this jar is going, I'm gonna have to make sure that the water doesn't go down and stuff like that.
Sam is now decarboxylated.
Sam is decarboxylated. Let it be known. So there's the sous vide method. Obviously, a lot less time on your part watching it, but longer amount of time to get to the finished product. Okay, so there's that. And we are going to, obviously, it's going to take a couple hours to get this butter going. And then after we eat lunch, we'll make the cookies. So it says, everyone needs one perfect chocolate chip cookie recipe in their arsenal. And it may as well be one that gets you blazed. Chopping the chocolate into irregular chunks ensures there's a bit of chocolate in every bite. So THC per cookie, 3.7 milligrams. I don't think that's too high of a dosage. 3.7 milligrams, that seems pretty low to me. So I think that's a good place to start. Your brain's always at like 60% before you have coffee to wake it up. Orange juice instead of creamer? No. Yes, chocolate. Too high of a dosage? That's a thing. Over extraction can pull chlorophyll from the plant. Yeah, I was reading about that a little bit last night. So the chlorophyll, obviously the green part from the plant. The flower doesn't have as much. If you get, let's say, some trim, obviously that's going to have more because that's the leafy part. And yes, the chlorophyll, as it gets heated, it does get bitter. Okay, guys. So, getting into lunch, while this stuff is going, I'm gonna put the jar in here now. It is sealed. How are we going to get it to stand up? Is my question, guys. Sammy, what do you think? If it turns over, is this okay?
What?
I don't think so. Do we have to weigh this down with something?
Probably, yeah. I thought you had it covered.
No, it says uncovered. And we need more water. Maybe I'll just put a little pot on top.
Yeah, some water.
Learning, guys. This is what they don't tell you in the recipe. We also need more water in the pot. That's probably perfect.
I help.
Thank you. You got some wings.
Huh? Maybe go to the barber.
I used to go to the barber shop, guys. Touch more.
Water.
Yeah. Maybe the sous vide method is better, guys.
What should do what?
Just enough. This is perfect.
You gotta crack a little bit, yeah.
It says put it on tight. I'll crack it just a touch. Because you don't want the water to go in, right? Stay. Okay, let's pray for the best, guys. Praying for the best. So, lunchtime today. We are making something out of a meal kit box that Sam and I decided to try out. We got a little coupon in the mail, so we were like, 25 bucks for 3 meals, let's check. Let's check it out. So fresh pappardelle, garlic lacinato ribbons, which is kale. Going with some marinated oyster mushrooms, soft mozza, and then because this is a vegetarian meal, I'm not gonna hold this over for too long, so I decided to just pull a little bit of shrimp from the freezer that we had. You put a mortar and pestle on top of your stuff when you're extracting herbs and spices in your sous vide. Yeah. You would worry about plastic leaching with the sous vide though. The plastic for vacuum sealed bags though in dog is actually made to withstand those higher temperatures, so it's not actually going to leach anything bad into there. There are different styles of bags, so there are some bags that are used for cooking and other bags that are just used for like freezer storage. So kind of check that out when you're buying your bags to make sure, because that is something that you should be worried about. And yeah, you can totally use a mason jar in the sous vide as well. So fresh pappardelle pasta, garlicky kale ribbons, marinated oyster mushrooms, fresh mozza. So it says, what's better than having fresh pappardelle for dinner on a weeknight? Or, you know, lunch on a Monday? Why? Pairing it with fresh mozza, of course. The Italian spun cheese is typically made of buffalo milk, and when served fresh, has a subtle flavor and creamy texture. We're slicing the squeaky fresh cheese into bite-sized pieces, marinating it with oyster mushrooms. All that savory goodness tops ribbons of fresh pasta that are tossed with a garlicky kale sauce, coming together in the most satisfying way. And then this is the back of the pamphlet. So they give you photos of what stuff should look like as you're prepping it, and they give you all the directions to make it, which to me, this is a really good idea on their part. So what I want to do is get out all of the ingredients that they sent us, and then we can get started. And the recipe says it's going to take us 25 minutes to make from start to finish, and we will be timing ourselves today just to kind of do a little test, see how accurate this is. Okay, so this is kind of simmering now. I'm just going to turn this pot down because it says you don't want it to boil. So this is how this thing comes. Massive bag with all this stuff in it. Which, in my mind, maybe there's a touch too much packaging. I'm gonna be worried about that jar the whole time, guys. This is like a Blue Apron type thing. Is that a kind of meal kit delivery thing that you have over there in Dog? Hey, iShotBo. So now, okay, so this bag is not sealed. Start taking some stuff out. There's our kale. One whole pack of basil, that's pretty good. This is worth like $2 or $3 on its own. I think that's oregano. There's our pasta. I don't know. I don't know if that's pappardelle per se, but we'll see. There's our mozza packed in the brine. 2 little garlic cloves. Cream. This is interesting, guys. Very interesting. Champagne vinegar. So fancy. I mean, the bag's really nice. Probably gonna keep this bag for something, for sure. How much is this? So, typically, 3 meals would cost $75. I would never pay that for this. Just judging by the amounts of stuff that's given here. But we got 3 meals for $25 as like a promo thing for your first time. Yeah, holy moly indeed. It's like...
But this is for the people that don't have time to prep anything.
Exactly.
Or don't know how to do it, so.
Exactly. So this is really awesome if you want to get into cooking, because it gives you the recipes, it gives you all the ingredients you need. You don't have to think about basically anything. All the thought ahead of time is done for you, and it even gives your calories per serving. And obviously kind of teaches you how to cook with all of the steps in the recipe. So maybe if you're just kind of getting into cooking, this is awesome, because it kind of introduces you into like how to cook pasta and like what to pair with it. So get a couple different meals for, let's say, a couple weeks, and then you can kind of just roll on your own as you learn to cook the different things, and then you can make your own recipes up. That's what I would do, at least, because this is not sustainable price-wise to keep getting it week after week. Like, this is a meal for 2 people. Kale's gonna cook down to pretty much nothing. Same with the mushrooms. It's not a ton of pasta here for 2 people. So just be aware of that, and I mean, being a chef, Sammy and I, is we kind of know how much stuff should cost, whereas a lot of other people do not. I need to touch this pasta first. So yeah, it is fresh. It's a little bit dry, but not like super dry. I can still pull it apart. So that's all right. We can just leave that out, but I will keep it closed so that it doesn't dry out anymore. Just put that aside. Everything looks good in there.
One cool thing actually with this box, with how it came, was this box.
Yeah, it came in like a big cooler box with a bunch of ice packs in it.
That had everything still like super cold, so it's really cool.
They pack it well for sure. You can get all this stuff for $10 easily. Easily, especially something vegetarian like this. Okay, so directions. It says for mise en place, bring a medium pot of salted water to a boil. So let's get that going. We're gonna follow this step by step, guys. It's gonna be like kind of like a rapid fire, let's say. Is it just your comp, or has everyone else experienced a lot of frame dropping? Oh, I hope not. Stream looks fine. Okay. So we don't even need that big of a pot because there's not that much pasta there. Let's fill that up with water. Let's go halfway. And it said salted, guys. Really important when you're cooking pasta. You want to add a good amount of salt so that it tastes like the sea. Otherwise, your pasta is going to be a little bit bland when you eat it later. And we're going to cover that pot so that it boils faster. on medium heat for now. And I guess, should we set our timer, guys? It's gonna get real. It's gonna get really real, real quick. "25 minutes. Lunch will be done." And I'm gonna set a 45-minute timer for our infusion pot. And then we gotta burp the jar, it says. Okay, ready guys? 25 minutes. Let's see how we do. It's gonna make me nervous. So, bring a medium pot of salted water to a boil. That's already on. Tear the oyster mushrooms into bite-sized pieces. That's the first thing it's telling us to do. Obviously, we'll need a pot for that, I'm guessing, or a bowl. Just get a bunch of bowls out. That's what it looks like they have there. So, our oyster mushrooms, they're okay. Not like the most amount for sure. And then the bottom part, we definitely have to trim that off. So like this is the stuff that it doesn't tell you, right guys? And that's kind of why I wanted to try that. This service is just to kind of test and see. So bite-sized pieces, you can't just tear this. Like trying to tear through the stem, it doesn't tear nicely. And when it says bite-sized pieces, it's pieces that obviously are easily fit into your mouth. So like what I would do is just kind of take a knife and trim off the stem first, and then tear the top part of the mushroom. So like bite-sized to me, no more than an inch in length. Otherwise it's just gonna be too awkward to try and eat. And oyster mushrooms, if you guys have never had them before, they're not super strong in flavor, and I really like their texture. They're quite firm. And as with any mushrooms, is they're gonna take on flavor really well. Mushrooms are spongy, so they like to soak up a lot of different flavors. Bodie baboo. Okay, Windows. You do your thing.
Don't let Windows do things.
Windows is wild.
Computers might shut down.
What? It's true. Now updating. What? Never authorized this. Okay, Windows. Okay, there's our mushroom. I'm gonna save the bottom part. I'm gonna dry it out in the dehydrator later. I'm gonna do that overnight, so I don't have to wash it. Okay, oyster mushrooms, torn into bite-sized pieces. Put that aside. Next up, remove the kale leaves from the stems and cut into ribbons. So what it means, I like to call this zipping. So just kind of tear from the bottom and then go all the way along the stem, because the stem is really tough. This is one of Doggo's favorite snacks, but to eat the stem, it's really stringy and let's say almost like woody. So not the best thing. I usually just discard the stems. I don't find really a use for them otherwise. Pardon?
Do you have your timer set?
Yep, 21 minutes left.
Okay. Working along.
Carrying on. Guys, has anyone in here ever ordered a meal delivery service like this before? Or is this something that you're like kind of weirded out by? I've always been pretty skeptical of them. You picked one up from a local farmer's market. So that was like a box of just food though, right? Like just vegetables from the farms? Or did it have like the recipes and stuff like that in there too, chocolate? It wasn't a CSA, it was a meal kit. Okay, cool. Did you like it? I think the biggest thing for these companies is just getting people to obviously keep ordering it, right? Because for me, it's like, I ordered it once, not worth the money, right? And then that's it. So like, how do you get people to keep buying this? So it says next step for our kale is to just slice it into ribbons, which means thinly sliced. And what I'm gonna do is cut these larger leaves right down the center lengthwise, kind of where it opens up there. I'm gonna cut right down there, and then we can kind of layer the kale on top of itself and then slice it afterwards. A little bit less expensive than the delivery service though. Okay. You prefer their direct-to-consumer business model. Yeah, there's so much plastic. That's like my one big thing as well. But a lot of this stuff, like, I can reuse. Like, I'm gonna keep these 2 little bottles for something. Probably gonna keep this mozza container.
That's why I love my work. We really don't waste anything, and everything's biodegradable.
Yeah.
Or compostable.
You do home chef once a month. It's cool, just too much plastic. I agree. If they make this plastic compostable or biodegradable, that's okay, right? It makes you feel not as bad. Okay, slicing the kale into ribbons. So I would go no thicker than like 1/3 of an inch, let's say. Obviously you want this all consistent in size so that it cooks up consistently later on. And we will put that in the bowl. Next up, it says peel, halve, and thinly slice the shallot. Like, this is the thing though with cooking, guys, is if you can follow directions and read, you can pretty much cook anything. Okay. Peel, halve, and thinly slice the shallot. To say this shallot is really good looking. Like, the quality of the ingredients does look good. Would have been pretty disappointed if nothing looked as fresh as this, for sure. And instead of actually just keeping it in half, I think I'm gonna cut it into quarters just to make it a touch smaller because the shallot's really big. Usually shallots are in like 2 pieces, so that would help this, but this one isn't. So nice thin slices. It might make you cry. Sometimes shallots are pretty strong like onions. And what a shallot is, it's just a cross between garlic and onion. Really, really nice flavor. But they're a little bit more expensive. But when making pasta, I think it's a really great addition, for sure. done. Mince the garlic, it says, which, lucky for us, we can cheat and just use a garlic press. That'll save us quite a bit of time, I think. So all we're gonna do is throw the garlic cloves in there. Crying a little bit, guys. Nothing too bad though. Pick the basil leaves off of the stem. Look at this basil. Holy shit. Where did they even get this from? Who is growing this? Like, what? This basil is like the size of my face.
Nice basil leaf.
That's a really nice basil leaf. I think this basil in itself pays for the whole box. I don't think we're gonna use all this. Like, I think these 2 leaves will be more than enough. So, like, we got a little bonus pack of basil. Yeah, clone. This shit's as big as my head. It does smell good, but I'm thinking it's gonna be a little bit more tough. We'll see. Yeah, you can literally fan someone with it. Okay, that's all it says for the basil. Alright, we'll just put that aside then. Pick the basil leaves off the stem. And then what? Cut the mozza into bite-sized pieces and season with salt and pepper. Just because I don't want to get the brine on the board, I'm just gonna pour all this brine out. That was just keeping the mozza nice and fresh, but we don't need that anymore. So we do get like a good piece of mozza. It's a nice little chunk. Cut it into bite-sized pieces, so you can go bigger or smaller. I think I'm gonna cut it into 3 pieces this way. And then cut it lengthwise. And then maybe into thirds. So we get just a little bit more distribution. This center piece we'll cut into 4 because it's a little bit bigger. So season with salt and pepper. But if I look ahead here, we're gonna be marinating the mushrooms and cheese together. So I'm actually just gonna set this aside for now. I guess we can season it. We can season that just on the board. Might as well. A little bit of S&P. Because this cheese is super creamy, so it definitely can take the salt and pepper. Otherwise, it might actually taste a little bit bland. You might find that. So we'll let that kind of season up while we make the marinade for the mushrooms. So next up, in a large pan, heat a drizzle of oil on medium-high. Okay, we're going over to the stove. So I'm gonna go in this pan. This is my little frying pan that I'm gonna use. So heat a drizzle of oil. I'm gonna use olive oil on medium-high heat. So I would say just enough to coat the bottom of the pan, maybe a couple tablespoons. That's it. And it looks like our pasta water is coming up, so I'm just gonna turn that down for now. Yeah, I'm gonna use all of the oil. And it says add half the garlic and half the shallots. Okay, so let's keep that in mind, guys. Only half of the garlic, so 1 clove of garlic and half of the shallots is gonna go in that pan. Cook, stirring frequently, 30 seconds to 1 minute. Add the mushrooms and cook 3 to 4 minutes until lightly browned. So this is where you're gonna notice that your mushrooms will shrink a little bit and they might release a little bit of moisture as well. Season with half of the spice blend, which is this little baggie of stuff. Fresh mozzarella spice blend. Parsley, mint, oregano, chili flakes, and salt. I like how they say Maldon salt, but it's definitely not in here. Okay. Guys, we only have 9 minutes left. I feel like this is not
There's definitely no salt in there.
an accurate timing.
Where does it say Maldon?
On the front of the sheet. So I'm gonna add my shallots in now as this heats up.
Huh. Yeah, there's definitely no
I think we're gonna run out of time just by going by how I'm doing. I don't think the 25 minutes to make this is accurate, especially for like most people that don't know how to cook.
No, there's like.
You found a flake of salt?
Look.
Whoa. So I'm just spreading the shallots out, guys. More surface area for browning. And it'll just cook a lot quicker compared to if we left it in that pile. But I'm not adding the garlic yet, because the garlic will actually burn before the shallot browns. So keep that in mind. Just cook the shallots a touch before we cook the garlic.
I think we're gonna need more salt than that, but there's like 10 flakes.
Sammy's still looking for the salt, guys. And actually, while this cooks, I'm gonna check out our shrimpies. They were frozen. Ooh, and the tail's still on. Okay. Got a little bit of work to do. I'm just gonna come back over here for a sec. So I'm gonna say the shallots will cook for a couple minutes. We got a bag of shrimp. I'm gonna put some paper towel in this bowl. We don't want the shrimp too wet. When we go to fry it up, all that moisture is actually not gonna let us fry it up that nicely. Shallots are just kind of starting to turn golden brown. Daydream, how are ya? And we gotta take the tails off of all these shrimpies. But this is an extra part of the recipe, so maybe we should give ourselves like an extra 5 minutes to do this. Otherwise, we might run out of time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, guys, real quick. You're good? That's good to hear. Great to hear. 1 clove of garlic going into, our shallot, but we want to mince that. You definitely don't want your shallot too dark, guys, otherwise it will taste burnt. We're gonna add our mushrooms. That we tore up. And I think I'm gonna need more oil at this point. See, like, they don't give us oil, guys. This is one thing that was not in the box. And mushrooms take a lot of oil. They got us. They got us good. Give that a nice mix so everything is nicely covered in the oil. You don't want the mushrooms to dry out. And now it says half of the spice blend and just some salt and pepper to season. That looks about half.
It smells really good though.
Yeah, it is smelling good. Gonna turn that off. These mushrooms cook up really quick, guys. Obviously, cutting them smaller is they're gonna cook quicker. And I don't like super soggy mushrooms, so I'd rather cook it less. Give that one more stir. And that's coming out of the pan. Over here. So look how much those shrank, because this bowl was literally almost full. Or let's say half full. There's like nothing left. Add the mozzarella, vinegar, and half of the basil to the bowl with the mushrooms. So, champagne vinegar. This is a lot. And it says 3 tablespoons of oil, even more. Okay, we're following all the steps, guys. Because you basically want your stuff like almost covered. And then our basil, it says half of the basil, which instead of tearing, I'm just gonna quickly chop this roughly. I feel like that's gonna be quicker. So just cut it in half lengthwise, and we're just gonna do this. The champagne vinegar does smell good though. Maybe it's a little bit sweeter. But I'm just hoping that it's not too strong of a flavor. And it says, add the remaining spice blend as well. There's a lot of blend in here. Whew. Okay, world. This is what you said to do. Sam, how are you? My knife skills, like I'm a professional or something. Man, I'm just trying to get this done within the 25 minutes, but it's not gonna happen. We literally have 20 seconds left. And I'm only on step 2. So that's a lie. Unless you had someone helping you. Okay, there's our marinated mushrooms and cheese. So at least we got that step done. Set that aside. I am well, Sam. Good to have you in here. Okay. So that was 25 minutes, guys. Know what I'm going to do now is set a stopwatch to see how much longer this actually takes me. Okay, next up. So it said, while the mushrooms are cooking, cook the pasta. There's no way. Like, even someone like me, to be able to multitask with all that stuff happening at once is we'd either have burnt soggy mushrooms or overcooked soggy pasta. So we're going to cook our pasta. It says 1 to 3 minutes until al dente, which means it still has a little bit of bite in it. It's not just going to fall apart. Drain it and then drizzle with some olive oil to prevent sticking. And then after that, we cook our kale in our reserved pan from the mushrooms. And then we toss everything together. But first, I'm just going to quickly prep the shrimps.
Can you post the contest endings? Or how many things and stuff for it?
Oh, sorry, Anchovy. Sammy doesn't know.
I don't know.
Here's that. I don't know if that's what shows you guys how many tickets are bought. Oh yeah, 425 tickets, 11 entrants. Okay, real quick, just taking all the tails off of these shrimp. Because if you're gonna toss them into something like a pasta, you don't want to keep those tails on, guys. No one eats pasta with their hands.
Yeah. Why don't you just do squats and then we'll do it? Yeah. But like, yeah, squats.
So, a little bit, well, I'm actually not surprised that this recipe took longer than 25 minutes. But it kind of is disappointing because it leads people on to think, yeah, like I can have this done in 25 minutes. Like, even someone with experience like myself can't even do it within that amount of time. Like, it's just not fair. It's creating those expectations that you cannot hold up. And I think that's important for cooking. Like, a lot of people don't have time these days. So why lie and say something takes only 25 minutes when it actually takes way longer? How did the dang turn out? Hey, Vune. So, not done yet. We have 16 minutes, and then that's going to be about halfway. So, the recipe said it was supposed to take 25 minutes to make this pasta and stuff. Which, there's definitely no way. Yeah, get dinner done in under 30 minutes. It's like, what? Okay. So, we are going to cook our pasta. We are getting close to the end. So we have our water going. boiling, obviously. And it says the pasta's only gonna take 1 to 3 minutes, so really quick cook time. Just gonna drop both of those in. I was not instructed to do anything else. And then I'm gonna turn our frying pan back on to like a medium-high heat to cook our kale and our shrimp. So it says heat a drizzle of oil in the reserve pan again. So at this point, I'm gonna say they should have definitely given us a little bit of oil in the packet. If they're gonna give you everything that you need to cook with, like at least say something ahead of time and be like, you need this much olive oil. I'm gonna try to break this up a touch. Yoon, how was Din Din? So, to cook our kale, add the remaining shallots and garlic, stir for 30 seconds to a minute, add the kale, salt it a little bit, and then we add the pasta cream. We want to reserve a little bit of cooking water from the pasta when we drain it. Did I make the pasta from scratch? No. I did not make the pasta. It is fresh pappardelle that came with the box. Ooh, more of like a chicken tonkatsu. That sounds so good, Yoon. I love panko when you're breading stuff like that. Try our pasta. Maybe just a touch more. Seems like our pan is hot, so I'm gonna put these shallots in. Spread them out again. Get a nice little fry on there. One more test on this pasta, which is like all stuck together. Test a little piece of the noodle. That's good. So strain that out. Reserve half a cup of liquid first. So that was pretty accurate, saying that it would take about a minute to cook. And now, guess what, guys? More oil. You want enough oil so that your pasta does not stick as it chills back here. Just give it a little stir.
I put a lot of
And then we'll just cover that. Let's mince our garlic into our shallots. And I'm going to put the kale in right away. Garlic smells so good, guys. So our kale ribbons that we cut up first, going in. And these are just going to wilt a little bit. So similar to like a spinach or something. Careful, guys, it might pop. What usually hot oil, it's gonna pop, so be careful. Hey, Herbalizer, welcome in. You saw someone make breaded chicken on Instagram on Friday and you couldn't get it out of your head. You had to have it, Vune. Vune, you lost. Okay, so I'm just gonna try a piece of this to see if it's tender. It tastes good. Definitely needs some seasoning, so salt and pepper. And this type of kale in particular is a lot less chewy than the curly kind. We will definitely take some salt in there. And I actually think I'm just going to quickly pour this out so we can quickly cook the shrimp before we mix everything up. So I'm just going to pour this into the cheese and the mushroom bowl. And then we might just need a touch more olive oil to cook the shrimp. But the shrimp cook within like 30 seconds. Really, really quick. And the shrimp did not come with the kit, guys. Keep that in mind. So spread that out in the pan. And when the shrimp are cooked, they'll turn a nice pale pink color or like a peachy color. So we're going to season those as they cook as well. Just some salt and pepper. I think we definitely have enough flavor in the rest of our stuff today. And whenever you're seasoning seafood, you can go a little bit lighter on the salt compared to like a dark meat, like a steak, let's say. You got exams next month, Vune. Oh, the pressure's on. It does smell really good in here though, guys. I will say that. I'm going to start to flip over our shrimp. See, the one side is already cooked. Try to not overcook these either, then they'll get rubbery and chewy. Definitely don't want that. So our next step here is we want to add our cream. So this is the last thing from the box, is to just add some heavy cream. And I'm going to add this while the shrimp cooks. We're almost there, guys. We are almost there. We have one more big ass leaf of basil to tear up. Kyle, you gotta go to bed. No problem, man. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you have a wonderful sleep, man. Looking like quite a lunch. I think it's gonna be alright, Herbalizer. We're trying out this Goodfood Box thing. Yeah, big ass leaf of basil. Size of my face. You're not looking forward to your job starting back up, Herbalizer? Ooh, okay. That's looking good. Shrimp's cooking. Our kale's cooked. We're gonna add our pasta into here now so it can start to kind of create that nice silky creamy sauce. The pasta still has all of those starches on it because we didn't rinse it after we cooked it. And then those starches from the pasta is what's gonna thicken the sauce so it really coats those noodles. And that is why you keep the pasta al dente. And it's stuck to the bottom of the pot, even though we added all that oil. That's gonna be a pain in the butt to clean. But let's kind of incorporate this.
I got it. Great.
And here's a little bit of the cooking water, but I'm not gonna add too much. It looks pretty saucy already. And now we have our marinated mushrooms, garlic fried kale, and some mozza. So I'm gonna add like 3/4 of it. I'm gonna save a little bit to garnish with afterwards. So we're there, guys. Stop this timer. So I took about 15 extra minutes to make this compared to what it said it would take. And I also added in shrimp, so that's partly my fault as well. Smells and looks really good though, I will say that. All the ingredients were really nice and fresh too. I'm just scared that the pasta might fall apart. I'm kind of a picky pasta person. But damn. This is the meal of your people, yeah, plus this herbalizer. That's for you. And it looks not too saucy. So I think I'm just gonna put it on this nice plate. Try and plate this pasta nice first. Ooh, the cheese is getting stringy. Looks good, guys. I think that's definitely enough pasta for me. Oh, the shrimps are running everywhere. Trying to not make this messy, but I think that's going to be a little bit of a challenge. I think that's more than enough shrimp.
Yeah, I'm just gonna eat it on stream.
Okay, let's clean this up a bit. Clean it up, Kate. Reel it in.
What?
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 What, Sammy? Hey, Norges! How are you, man? Welcome back. Shipping out on Wednesday morning. Getting paid for being home. Not so bad. I would say so. So, our remaining marinated mushrooms and mozza, I just want to spoon a little bit over top. Because otherwise you wouldn't really be able to decipher that those things are in there. Maybe one more mushroom, Sammy. Hands are getting dirty. And then our basil, we're just gonna tear over top. Lots of mushroom juices, yeah. I didn't even taste this before I plated it, guys, so I'm just gonna hope for the best. This is a test of my seasoning as well. That's our timer for our infusion. That means we're halfway through. Still got an hour before it's ready. I think that's enough basil. Big ass leaf of basil. That was a quick little break, Norges. Hopefully you took advantage of it. Around what time did the dono go through yesterday? Bune. So what I did, I actually did a highlight. So if you go to my videos.
That's good.
I made a highlight of my reaction yesterday because I actually almost cried on stream. It was pretty great. You guys are just being way too generous. Okay, Sammy says it's good. This is what we ended up with. It looks pretty good, hey? Did I season it okay?
That's better pasta than some restaurants. I would pay $25 for a bag, to be honest.
Okay.
Like that's really good. They did a really good job.
Sweet. Do it for the gram.
Like, it still would need the shrimp for me because it wouldn't be enough protein in it.
Yeah.
But it's delicious.
We got to taste. Let's eat. Goodfood should offer me a sponsor thing. Well, I messaged them to see what they would say. We'll see what comes from it.
It's really good. I like it.
The shrimp is good. I almost overcooked it. That's a hard thing to put into pasta though without it getting a little rubbery. If I was to be picky, maybe the pasta was a little bit too stuck together. But let's try this. A little bit of pasta, some of the kale, and some of the cheese.
It's tasty.
It's not bad. I don't know why, but my nose is running right now.
It's running.
I'm not a huge fan of like dried herbs, but luckily the flavor is not overpowering from them because I usually find dried oregano to just like overpower everything. And I also like how the sauce is like not super saucy. I like how it just coats the noodles. It doesn't feel as heavy, especially with all that mozza cheese, which is really high in fat. For sure, the fresh basil they sent with it was like probably the best part of the box. And I have to say, yeah, the pasta, really good. I'm really impressed with it. I like their version of marinating the mushroom and the cheese as well beforehand. But I think that step is what took us that extra like 10 minutes. So they should let you know that. Like, I don't know if you'd be able to actually get this done within 25 minutes. Other than that though, If you can learn how to season properly, then this is definitely not a bad thing to invest in. Our infusion's looking good. I'm gonna set 55 minutes.
So,
You couldn't find it, Vian. Okay.
see the pappardelle in that photo?
Yeah.
That's pappardelle. This is basically fettuccine.
Yeah, this is not pappardelle pasta either. If we're gonna be really picky-ish, like, chefs. One second, Vian.
Are you finding it?
Yeah. Vian, it's the one labeled NYC, here we come. It's a highlight.
Click on it. And then just copy and paste the...
Oop. Link the man already. Can you just give him the link? Hey, Box Fetish, welcome in. Yeah, long time no see for sure. How are you doing? No problem, Vian. Sammy's just crushing his bowl. Once again, I'm like 5 miles behind. Did you have your coffee already too?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
You anointed? I'm good.
Did I highlight the yolk action? I did as well, Norges. I did. I made 2 highlights for us yesterday. It's not a race in dog. I don't know. It's always a race eating with Sammy. You've been watching the VODs. Aw, thanks so much, Box. Your work schedule has kept you from coming around live. Well, happy to have you today then. It's a rarity. Yeah, big ass dono. I was like so shocked that I couldn't even be excited. You guys like broke me yesterday with that. It was like just melting. My heart of rock. It's just like crumbling.
How do you have a heart of rock with me?
I don't know.
That's some bullshit. I'm out.
He says he's out.
I quit.
Heart of rock, no way. I think I just don't like to show emotions that much. If you guys can tell.
I'm the emotional one.
Yeah. I'm locked in a glass case of emotion. Wow, there's even pasta left over. I'm impressed. I didn't even think that would be enough for 2 of us. Yes, Dirtbag, how are ya?
I think without the shrimp, though, it would have been filling enough.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, without the shrimp, there would not be leftovers. That's so true.
Yeah,
Sammy.
so it would be filling enough for 2 of us.
Yeah, the cheese.
Oh.
Emotions are for the emotional. Yes, in-dog.
I did pick a vegetarian meal too. There's 20 options you can choose from, and you can choose how many meals you want per week too.
Dirtbag awaiting the edible to kick in. We're gonna be making some pretty soon here after lunch. We're just infusing our butter right now. Yeah, OD on the edibles. Then you'll have emotion. Thanks, Bune. You got 30 minutes to chill. Perfect.
Well, welcome to the channel and chill for 30 minutes. While I get chill.
You OD'd on edibles once. I almost did Bune. But I didn't puke. So I don't think that was considered like overdosing. Pardon, Sammy?
That day, JM came over and I drank.
Yeah.
Sam was broken.
And this totally happened in Amsterdam too, guys. Like, typical, right? Just little Kate traveling on her own. Okay, going to an Amsterdam cafe. Let's check this out. This is like 5 years ago now, guys. Got a slice of lemon cake. Was like, yeah, I'm gonna eat this whole thing and see what happens. Biggest mistake.
Wait. Wasn't 11 grams of pure THC or something like that?
Maybe. It was insane though. And then
25%.
so it typically takes me about half an hour to get back to the hostel from the city in Amsterdam. I would have to take the train. It took me 4 hours to get back, guys. I literally could not get off the train. I was stuck in my seat. I like saw the stop that I should have gotten off at, and I was like, I can't get off. So like I had to get off at the next stop, go back to my last stop on a different train. Like, it was a mess. You know what saved me though? Stroop waffles. Box fetish. Thank you for the tier 1 sub.
Talking to Sammy while he was stoned at work at the same time.
Thank you so much for being a part of the Onion Squad box, even though you can't be here all the time when I'm live. The support is definitely appreciated. Dirtbag! You meant to text your stoner girlfriend, and then you texted someone totally random. Hello. That's hilarious. Vune, they weren't working. You have to wait an hour and a half.
What? You have to wait an hour and a half for what?
The edibles to kick in.
Well, half hour. Say
Not a half an hour.
No.
You liked that clip, Anchovy? Thanks. Stroop waffles, so good, chocolate. So good. Sugary waffles. Yeah, they are from Holland. So, we found some here, and the box looked super legit,
Terrible.
but they did not taste anything like the ones that saved my life. But maybe I was just so high that they were amazing. It's like, these are the greatest things ever. But I have a pretty good palate. Norges, you had a bad trip once and fell asleep. Woke up, got chatted up by some clearly gay guys. Norges was like, what the fuck? Turns out Norges fell asleep on the beach. The girls he was with had a laugh and typed swallow on Norges' forehead. Oh no, Norges. Just got taken advantage of, hey? Leger waffles? Yes. I did have those as well. I had those in Belgium. That was like one of the first things I ate when I went there. Went to the cafe. Got a Leger waffle with whipped cream and Nutella on it. It's freaking good. Those are not overhyped. I still want to make them here at home. But you need to buy like sugar pearls for them. They pile them up with all sorts of stuff. Yeah, I thought Nutella was going to be a good one though. The Awfulizer. Thank you. I think this pasta is getting better as it actually cools. Eyebrows so strong. Flexing on them, dirtbag. You can also make nib sugar. Ooh, I didn't know that, chocolate. That? I did not know.
I have a question.
Sammy has a question.
The people's eyebrow?
The what?
The people's eyebrow?
What's a people's eyebrow?
The Rock did it when he was get one lower than the other one.
Yeah?
I have the eyebrows for it.
Sammy says, the people's eyebrow. Do it for the stream. Hello. Spritz water on regular sugar and let it stick and glue together. Well, that doesn't sound easy at all. We might have to try this. Okay, I'm almost there, guys. We're waiting for an infusion anyways. And I gotta go grab the mixer from upstairs for the cookies. And then we'll start kind of getting the ingredients out. And then we can bake. We can bake. Nor just hello. You encourage us. Liege waffles for the people. Just do it for the people. I guess I'll have to change the stream title to Baked with Kate. Not Cook with Kate, hey? Just a mini cleanup, guys, while I wait and eat. It's a chef thing, I think. It's like, oh, I'm eating? This is a waste of time, so I'm just gonna keep doing stuff. Clean it up.
Oh, yeah.
What? We got an Annie.
10-month hype.
It's illegal here, so you'll need to censor the stream. Sounds great, Norges. Put my faith in you. Annie, 10 months. Thank you so much. Yesterday we had a 9-month and an 11-month. It's getting up there, guys. How was your weekend, Annie? Yeah, we don't eat here. We just make food. Pretty much, chocolate. How it feels. It's like hilarious. Like, being a fine dining chef, you think that we would eat the type of food that we make? No. It's too much effort to cook for ourselves like we cook for customers. It's like home style food is usually what we eat after we cook everyone else dinner. So I used flour, dirtbag. We had some flour that got a little bit dried out. Wasn't that good to smoke with anymore. So we're doing a butter infusion. It takes about 2 hours to fully decarboxylate. The tacos were a letdown. No, Vyun. Why? This makes me sad for you. It was glorified nachos. I think we're actually going out for tacos this afternoon. We're going into the city.
Yeah, we could try streaming it.
We might try streaming it. Annie, you shoveled 16 inches yesterday? Holy shit. I don't miss the snow. Yeah, times like that. Glad you live in a condo or an apartment. You tried blanching it beforehand and it made a big difference in taste and quality of butter, but requires an extra drying step afterwards. Interesting, dirtbag. I mean, I'm going off of Bon Appetit book, and they never said anything about blanching it before. They just kind of tell you how to decarboxylate it. Traditional homemade food is above fancy restaurant food in your book any day. I agree. 100% Norges. Yeah, cool looking book. I'm excited to get into it. First time pretty much doing this. We're doing good for timing. Let me finish this up and then we'll kind of start to get stuff together. The blanching is just to keep the chlorophyll out. Interesting. So you actually just blanch it with water. Do you put it into ice water afterwards still? Bend over. Thanks for the follow. Guys, I'm gonna be right back. Just gotta take a quick bathroom break. Hold down the fort. Water in a tea strainer. Interesting. Might have to do that next time. Five-minute blanch, then ice water dip. Then over to decarb and dry. Norges is gonna head off and play with his friends in the snow. Bye, Norges. I don't know if I'll see you tomorrow. So, yeah, have fun on the ship. Be safe. And we'll be here for you when you come back. Thanks for everything, man. Seriously. We going to New York. Does my donate accept cryptocurrency? I don't know. I don't know if I put that on as an acceptable form. But I can? We can't. Typical. Canadians? Nah. They don't get that. Like a Coinbase account? Yeah, I don't think... Sammy would be the one who knows, and if he's saying no, then that's a straight up no. Lame. Annie, I was gonna say, why are you home on a Monday? Then begins the grading hell. You have to miss the stream tomorrow. No! Martin Luther King Day. Ah! Makes sense. The sun shines a coming in.
I'm just gonna do that for you.
Let there be light. Ah, you trade the bitcoins for work. So that's easier for you. Interesting. So much chewing. We're almost there. I think I'm getting full anyways. Might have to leave this a little bit. I'm gonna put this basil and butter away. The basil. Corn. You baked some fresh salmon a couple days ago. Tastes so much better than frozen. Yep. And the texture too, right? Doesn't get as dried out. What the hell? Nor just gave us another $100? Just leaves us with all of this money. What the hell? Why do I keep missing this? I checked over all my dono settings yesterday so that it would show up, and it still is not showing up. Or did I just miss it? This guy though.
I didn't hear anything, so...
I didn't either. This is some shit, guys. Holy shit. Norges, if you're still here, thanks, man. I don't know why I keep missing this, but I need to get it sorted. I don't even know anymore. I'm just a terrible person. Thanks for the money, but I'm not gonna say anything. Okay. Getting into these salted chocolate chip cookies. We had our lunch. Time to have some dessert now. Those look pretty good. You swear the donation wasn't there when you subbed. I know, right? How is he sneaking? He's sneaking this shit in here. These Norwegians, I tell ya. Yes, Indog. Man, the eggplant and the onion looks really great together. Need to spam that more often.
Maybe?
Maybe a delay because the currency transactions. Okay, so this recipe. Salted chocolate chip cookies from the Munchies test kitchen. Our yield. We're going to get 18 cookies. Divide that by Sammy and I. We each get 9. Each cookie, 3.7 milligrams of THC per cookie. 66.8 milligrams total recipe. So, how much is 3.7 milligrams? I need to look this up. It's like, how much is this going to fudge us up if we partake in this? And obviously, someone like myself is about like half the size of Sammy, so I'm going to need even less than what he's going to need in order to feel the psychoactive effects. Regular stoners want around 10 for a starter dose. Okay. Okay, so it says, I'm just looking at an article online, effects of edibles by dosage and tolerance. So desired effect level for mild effects, it says minimal tolerance. So someone who doesn't really smoke that much, 2 to 4 milligrams. So some tolerance, you smoke 1 to 3 times a week, 3 to 7 milligrams. If you smoke daily, 4 to 10 milligrams per dosage. So users who smoke multiple times a week, you can go anywhere between 2 and 12 milligrams of THC per serving. And this is someone who doesn't really eat edibles a lot. So if you regularly eat edibles and have a tolerance built up, you can have more THC, 10 to 30 milligrams. So edible duration of effects, total time, 4 to 10 hours. The onset, anywhere between half an hour.
I guess we are going to eat some good foods in NYC. Thank
See,
you.
like that donation worked. Sammy's donation just came up. Okay, so onset 30 minutes to like an hour and a half. But your after effects can last anywhere between 6 to 12 hours. So this is a long effect, right? You want to be doing this when you don't have anything else to do for the day. You don't want to be driving anywhere. No, nothing like that, guys, okay? This can really put you out of it. And if you're out somewhere beforehand and then it hits you, you'll get in trouble really quick. Compared to, let's say, if you just smoked some flour or concentrate or whatever, those effects usually wear off after 3 hours. So this is like double to triple the amount of time of your effects. So keep that in mind, guys. And it says here, high doses of edibles can actually cause worse anxiety. So if you're using your edible to treat your anxiety, you really want to go for a lower dose. If you go with too much, it's actually going to make it worse and you can actually have a panic attack from it. So definitely don't want that. So start with anywhere from 5 milligrams of THC or less. So with our 3.7 per cookie, Sam and I will probably need 2 cookies each. Sammy maybe 3, but myself maybe even only 1. Like I'm gonna start with 1, wait for sure a half hour to an hour, and then if you still don't feel anything, maybe dabble a little bit. But if it's your first time, wait the full hour and a half for it to really kick in. Annie, thank you for the $10. Testing. So it does work. But I don't know how Nor just sneaks that shit in there all the time. And in these massive amounts. It came in right away. Maybe I just didn't notice it, but I swear, like, that's why I have the sound on and everything. What is the form? So we're doing butter infused box. Eat all 9. No, no, no. Yeah, just distracts me and then I go to the bathroom. Typical. Okay, so our 3.7 milligrams of THC per cookie. Nothing crazy. You don't have to be scared of eating 1 cookie and freaking the F out. Okay. So I'm going to go grab the KitchenAid mixer because we're going to need this. I think. Ooh, maybe not. This is actually a recipe we just make in the bowl. Well, that's easy. Even easier. So we need 2 baking sheets lined with either parchment paper or like a silicone mat, which I think I'm going to use this Silpat today. Something to help the cookie not stick. And then we're going to combine flour, baking soda, and salt in a medium bowl. In a large bowl, combine your infused butter and some regular butter. And beat it with a wooden spoon until it's soft.
Testing with foreign currency.
Box fetish! Testing with foreign currency. Thank you for the 665. I so appreciate that. You guys are hilarious. Thank you so much. Gotta test this shit out. How do we keep missing this? Well, it works. But dang, I still feel bad that I missed that. That's $5 US.
Turn up the speakers then.
Why? I can still hear it.
Well then. So me.
It did work instantly, so I don't know how I missed Norges. Because if you guys said that you didn't see it either, I don't know. Okay, so typical cookie recipe. These are your basic steps that you're gonna take. Combine your dry goods in a smaller bowl. Beat your butter a bit, and then we can add in our sugar and beat that up until it's really light and fluffy. And then you add your eggs to that, and then you stir in your flour, your dry stuff, and then last but not least, we will stir in our chocolate chips. Chocolate with the tier 1 sub. Thank you so much, and welcome in. Welcome to the Onion Squad. I hope you enjoy your time here. Maybe there's no transaction fee in North America, but there is from Europe. Maybe. Yeah, Canadian on the inflation hype. Yep. You know you've had problems with delays when you're donating to a European streamer. That might be it. Yeah, just as we said, chocolate chips. And we're gonna add the chocolate chips at the end with a subscription from Chocolate. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, so after our cookies are mixed, we'll divide them into 18 portions so we get the correct dosage of THC. Ooh, and then actually, you know what, guys? So it says we have to chill the dough for a couple of hours before we bake it. So maybe we'll actually come back and bake the cookies after we come back from the city. Sammy, I'm gonna ask Sammy what he wants to do. Because this can actually be something that gives you good cookies compared to crappy cookies. So some cookie recipes, you do have to chill the dough before you bake it. If you don't chill the dough, you can actually end up with cookies that just like spread out all over the baking sheet because they haven't rested enough. So I don't think I want to skip that step. There are some points where you just can't rush it, and I think that's one of them. So it says bake the cookies directly from the fridge. So we portion the dough balls into the 18, and then we refrigerate the portioned cookies. And then luckily they only bake for about 10 minutes. Typical cookie baking time. Right proper. Love it, Chocolate. I do love UK slang. Yep. There were definitely times, Dirtbag, when I was traveling in the UK on my own, listening to some people talk, or even trying to talk to some people, it was like, I had to like, do this. Like, I felt like I was doing this the whole time. It's like, wait, sorry, what are you saying? I'm sorry, what? I know you're speaking English, but I don't understand a word that you're saying. Yeah, this ain't your typical cookie. Annie, making up a pre-calc final today. Ugh. That's gonna involve a little bit of thinking, hey? And it differs on the regions as well, Dirtbag. Like, some regions in the UK have a really strong slang compared to other regions. Okay, I'm gonna go grab all of the stuff that we need for this. Let's start getting everything out. We have 20 minutes left until our butter is good. We need flour, baking soda, and salt. basically ingredients that most of you should have laying around. You have 19 minutes to get there and steal the butter. Exactly, Vune. Come on in. But have you seen my wall of knives yet, Vune? Just saying. Okay, we need some regular butter. 4 tablespoons of unsalted. Ooh, we might have an issue. Might have to steal some eggs from upstairs. Okay, we only need 1 egg, so we are okay. We have 1 duck egg. We need white sugar and brown sugar. Literally the 1 egg to rule them all. And this is big ass egg. Duck egg, not messing around. Yeah, just wait until I go into town. Come back, all the cookies are gone. Vune, he is the stealth. In the night. We won't even see him. Oh yeah, Annie, your gluten-free diet. Bread has been the hardest thing to give up. Oh, I'm sure, dude. Like, dairy allergy or gluten allergy is something I'm so paranoid of developing as a chef. Ugh. I'm sad for you. Okay, sugar, sugar. Brown sugar, white sugar. We need some vanilla. Oh, breaking things.
Oh, really?
You'll have to explore some. Yeah, there are some good gluten-free breads. It's true.
Oh, yeah.
Just be careful with how many additives there are in there. That's the only kind of bad thing that I don't like about gluten-free. That usually there's like a lot of stabilizers added. Because without the gluten, the bread doesn't really want to rise, right? You found excellent gluten-free cookies. Yeah. That's the good thing about this day and age is that there's a lot of different gluten-free and dairy-free stuff in the market. So just find what you like. Guys, half a pound of chocolate going into this. 8 ounces. Let's see what we got. Got a couple different things in here. To use up. Hopefully we have enough. Eating rice instead of pasta. There are some like brown rice pastas out there though. Yeah, Udis. Udis and Ezekiel. I've heard the same about those boxes, that they're some of the best. So I have some dark chocolate. I'm using the baker's stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Got dark chocolate and some bittersweet.
Oh, that sounds good.
I don't even know if that's gonna be enough though. Let's get a scale out. Let's see. We don't want to skimp on this. For sure not. Seven and a half. Okay. We need half an ounce. I'm just gonna bump this up with a little something something called salted caramel chocolate chips. Please tell me if this is a bad idea, and I will not go forward with it. So just half an ounce. That's it. That's not bad. Annie, can you have spelt bread? Can you have like a spelt sourdough? Some dog owner just left their dog's poop at the end of your driveway without cleaning it? What is wrong with the world? Okay, we got a medium bowl out. And we got a large bowl. Let us begin. Aw, dirtbag, you're off to the movies. May I ask what movie you're watching? Thanks for chilling with us. And I hope you have a wonderful time at the movies. Glass. I don't even think I've heard of that. Hopefully it's good. Eat some popcorn for me. Some popcorns. Okay, so medium bowl. We need 1 3/4 cups of flour, our baking soda and kosher salt. One and 3/4 cups of flour. Have I ever cooked an eye roast on stream? Like a ribeye? A prime rib on stream? I don't know if I have. Okay, 1 cup. This is just all-purpose flour, guys. Nothing fancy. 3/4 of a cup. We need 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda. This is gonna give our cookies a little bit of rise. You've heard it called round roast as well. Interesting. But that's what you're saying though, Annie, is like a ribeye roast. And we want a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. And then we're still gonna add flaked salt on top of these cookies to garnish. But we still want a 1/2 teaspoon of salt inside of the batter. Annie, you just baked it in the oven and it came out a little bit on the tough side. Never heard of an eye roast though. Like an eye of round roast? Because that's going to be obviously a lot more tough than like a ribeye roast.
Here. You should change the screen care of the baking now. You want?
Okay. I can do that. Baked with Kate, cannabis infused chocolate sea salt cookies from Bon Appetit.
I just didn't. I like the fact that they're melting, so.
Hey.
Yeah, but yeah, nothing kind of saved it all.
Update.
But yeah, my water block blew up. Yeah, saved it all. We don't have any risks here.
You remember the days when you had to refresh to see the stream title change? Did it change? Because it still says updating on my dashboard. Okay, there's our dry stuff in this bowl. We have 9 minutes on our butter infusion. But we can measure out the 4 tablespoons of regular unsalted butter. It did change. Thanks, Annie, for letting me know that. Four tablespoons. And I might actually just weigh that out. Four tablespoons of butter in grams.
Yeah, that's like just
So 14 grams per tablespoon. 14.2.
you set the telephone.
Math. Not my strong suit. 56.8 grams. And then we need that same amount of our infused butter as well.
Probably black top.
Thanks, Box. Just doing my converting for me. You're the frickin' best. Beefurb! Welcome in. Thank you for the raid. Let's welcome Beefurb in, everyone. Yokozuna. Welcome in, guys. How was the stream?
Yes.
57 grams. If I hit it on the first try, then I don't know. Great things are gonna happen. Definitely didn't. It's gonna be a shit day. No, it's not. There we go, though. 1 gram off on the second try. Things could be worse. Hey, Maniac, how are ya? Is that a little Furby emote? I love that.
Yeah, he's almost set.
What am I making? Good question, Rach. So, today, my first time ever experimenting with cannabis infusion in baking. So we are making cannabis infused chocolate chip sea salt cookies from a wonderful new cooking book that I got called Bon Appetit. So I live in Canada, and cannabis is legal throughout the whole nation, so I can finally kind of play around with infusions and see what all the hype is about, I guess. Jealous. I'm just gonna soften up this butter just a touch, since we're not using a mixer. It's gonna make it a little bit easier on ourselves. But we don't necessarily want to melt it. So just soft enough that you can kind of whip it up. Beefurb, happy Monday! How are you? How did your stream go?
Oh, yeah.
Get in there. Dog the chef. Gifting out 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You've given a total of 79 subs in the channel. That is some commitment to building this community.
Yeah.
Welcome in, new subs. Hope you enjoy your stay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just gonna let that keep going. Oh, yeah. It's kind of like a creepy Kool-Aid man, oh yeah?
Oh, yeah.
It went well. Well, that's good news. We tackled chicken cordon bleu today. I haven't had that in a long time. It's like definitely a guilty pleasure, for sure.
Oh,
Annie!
yeah.
Annie's like, ain't nobody gifting 5 subs without me. Thank you so much, Annie. Another 5 tier 1 subs.
yeah.
You guys are out of control. Thanks, Annie. You do know how much that means to me, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we gotta beat the butter. So we have some regular butter here. We're just waiting
yeah.
on the last couple of minutes of our cannabis-infused butter on the stovetop. And what's happening in that jar that's being boiled right now? So we have some flour, 3 grams of flour to 1 cup of butter. Is we had to cook it basically under pressure in like a canning sort of setup. So you put it in a mason jar, seal the jar up, and then fill a large pot with water until it's just at the top of your jar. And we have to cook that for 2 hours in order to get the psychoactive effects out of the cannabis, so the THC and all that good stuff. Otherwise, if you just put your cannabis straight into your cookie recipe, you're not going to get those effects. So to some people, that would be like a waste of using the weed, because it is quite an expensive ingredient to cook with, so make sure you're using it right. And this is my first time, so trying to really guide all of us together how to do it the right way. And it's totally okay if some of you in here are not okay with cannabis, but this is something new and I really want to try it. Being a chef I like to try all sorts of different things. Okay, we only have 2 minutes left on this, so I'm going to turn our burner off. And I guess I can show you guys what's happening on the stove as I take this out. So, yay for leftover pasta. You guys aren't supposed to see that. But that was lunch. Annie, oh yeah. And so I have a mason jar in this pot, but we had to weigh it down because it wanted to float, and you really want that jar to be submerged. And so as soon as I take this off, it's going to want to flip over. And, no! I'm just going to do that. It was a little hot. I did not want to get any water into there. Okay. Let's come over. Pappardelle. Yes, it was pappardelle. Maybe not quite the correct cut of a pappardelle, but it was actually really good pasta. Does that mean we can put cannabis in fleur-de-sel salted caramels? We could. We could totally do that, Dark. As long as you decarboxylate it in some sort of fat. So you can use butter, coconut oil, olive oil, something like that first. Then you can totally do that. So this is what we end up with. So we had our 1 cup of butter, 3 grams of flour. You can see the milk solids in the bottom of the jar. So that's the white liquid that also cooked out of the butter. So what they said in the beginning of the book when we were reading is European butter has more butter fat in it, so you're going to have less of this liquid at the bottom. Because really all we want to use now is just the pure fat. So basically this is clarified butter, this layer right here. And this is the dairy solids that you guys want to get rid of at the bottom. So we really want to be careful when we're straining this and dealing with it after to not use any of that dairy. Cool thing is though, is when we strain this and let it kind of cool or come up to room temperature, is the butter will harden and separate from the dairy, which will stay liquid. So you'll be able to just kind of peel it off afterwards. You've never seen that before in your butter? Yeah, this is basically like watered down butter, let's say. So just opening the jar, there was a little bit of pressure release. Basically clarifying the butter. That smells really good. I'm gonna let Sammy smell this. It doesn't smell like cannabis, I have to say. It just smells like an herb butter. Smell that.
Oh wow.
So now we need to strain this in a fine mesh strainer.
What?
Because we don't really want any of those flour solids in there, right? As we've already extracted everything from that. Do that. And then what do I want to strain it into? Maybe just a measuring cup. Or maybe even just into here. We'll do that. Just a little container. Oh, hello, Nike. You're right on time, man. I'm just straining out some decarboxylated flour with butter. And we're baking. Nike, how did your football team do yesterday? And we also really want to press out any butter that is left in the flour. Don't want to waste any of that, right? The Pats won, baby. So that means that they're going to the Super Bowl. Sorry, I'm not like a huge football fan.
Makes you play better.
And that's why I ask these questions. Hey, Kitsune, how are ya? Super Bowl bound, hell yeah. The buds are no longer useful, exactly, anchovy. So all of the terps and trichomes and THC and everything from that flour has been extracted into the butter. So the flour pieces are no longer needed. You're not gonna get anything from that. Unless you want to re-dry it out and use it for like a seasoning, but I'm not really sure what flavor you're gonna get out of that at this point. You've never liked them. The fans are cocky. Okay, so we need 57 grams of this butter as well to add in with our regular butter.
You and I are actually doing 144.
And so I'm not just necessarily going to pour this, because as you can see, there's our dairy at the bottom, and that's not what we want. So I'm just going to spoon it out until that gets hardened. Vune, 24 tickets, let's go. And so also, guys, can I add, doing your carboxylation of your cannabis this way is there's no aroma that's gonna fill your house and make it smell like weed. Compared to the other way is doing it in the oven, really scale. You're really gonna turn off about halfway through. If you do this in the oven, you can do the exact same thing, but it's gonna make your whole house smell like cannabis. Okay, let's try this again. How about you don't turn off as I'm spooning this in? The scale is something else, guys.
Guys on us, 120, 125. One's done. The other two are on the transport prep stuff.
We are there. Ooh, we actually went all the way up to 58. Hi, Sandwich Kit. Hello, Sandwich Kit. What was the inspiration for these cookies? I don't know. Weed being legalized in Canada, I guess. The freedom of being able to make edibles and know that you won't get arrested for it. And I just want to learn more about cooking with cannabis. Okay, so we can mix these butters now. It's an equal part of infused butter and regular butter. Yeah, Bob Barley. I'm actually gonna try and scrape all this out, or just let it drip. Do not waste. I think I might switch to a whisk, just to kind of whip this together. Whip it good. Polsh, how are you? How strong is the taste? Honestly, man, I have no idea. This is the first time I'm making this recipe, but so far with like the smell of the infused butter, I don't think it's gonna be that strong. And when we kind of deciphered how much THC we're gonna get from this, it's a very low dosage compared to a lot of other edibles. So you don't have to be afraid of like having a panic attack or anything when you eat this. It's a good place to kind of start if you're just getting into consuming cannabis. Moss, oh wow, a sub. Yeah, we just had 10 gifted subs in the channel from our very generous community. Okay, so now our butters are combined evenly. Polish, you are hungry. But you got a blizzard building up. Oh, you gotta grab groceries. You better go quick, man. Did you try edibles, Polish, for the first time? Yeah, more pizza. Whisking in 60 frames per second. The best. Okay, next step, I believe, is adding our sugars.
I don't think so.
So add both the sugars to the butter and beat until the mixture is light in color and fluffy. 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar and 1 cup of packed brown sugar. 2 tablespoons of white sugar. Oh, cannabis for the first time. You know what? I didn't really enjoy my first time either. And it does take your body a little bit to kind of develop or get used to using it. And also, I'm just gonna say, like, different strains will affect you differently as well. So maybe you just didn't have the right strain. Pizza is out of the budget. No! Sad times. It looks like New York will legalize marijuana in the next few years. Woo, Annie!
No, guys just living northeast 60.
So also, here's the thing in Canada, guys, is even though cannabis is legal or considered legal throughout the nation, edibles are not an available source at the moment in the dispensary. So there's no regulation on edibles yet,
Yeah, there's.
so they're not available anywhere. So that's why people have to resort to making their own. Okay, 1 cup packed brown sugar into the bowl.
You're on top of black cups. Yeah, it's looking. And that needs fish behind you.
Okay, let's whip it.
Coming over. Yeah.
And I like this recipe because you don't need a fancy mixer for it.
I'm loving it right now.
It's like a rare thing to find a baking recipe that doesn't use a hand mixer or a stand mixer at this point. Hello, April. How are you? Maybe you should make some oatmeal raisin cookies. Hell yeah. Those aren't that bad for you.
I don't know if it is it is a
Cookies are like some of the easiest things to make.
Yeah.
Usually you can just make it in a couple bowls and be done with it. So you don't even make that much dishes from it. Okay, so our sugar and butter is just getting a little bit lighter in color and texture. And that's what we want. We don't want to rush this step, otherwise you're gonna have rock hard cookies. So you really want to get that whipping in there. A little bit of exercise as well. Because let's be honest, when you eat these cookies, you're not going to be doing much afterwards. So get your exercise now. Hitch plug my stream. Oh, sweet.
Oh,
Well, welcome in, April.
yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, we are a fan of Hitch over here. Fellow Canadian. Haha, sandwich. You do most of your baking recipes by hand, despite it saying no. I like that. That is commitment.
Actually, I think
Okay, butter has been whipped with our sugars. We're gonna add our egg now until it's incorporated. And then we add our vanilla. Welcome to the Onion Squad, April and Annie. Thank you for gifting that sub to her. Just building our community. One day at a time. So I'm just gonna add that this is a duck egg, so it's quite large and in charge. It's about 1.5 times a chicken egg. So it might affect how these cookies bake. I guess we'll see. Hey Claire, welcome back. How are you doing? Nike, you make edibles all the time. This is honestly like my first time making edibles. And guys, edibles don't just have to be baking. This book does everything, like appetizers, main dishes, salads, soups. There's even a pot pepperoni recipe in there. So see how this is getting more smooth now once we added the egg? Is the sugar is kind of dissolving. That's what we want. That looks good. You've seen gummies, yep. That's another thing. Salad with cannabis, yes. So what you would do, I think, for the salad is infuse olive oil and make a vinaigrette with it. Probably gonna make it just a wee bit more chewy. There's nothing wrong with that. Kitsune. April, you're Canadian in the UK. Ah, crazy. Yeah, cannabis is just not a thing in the UK, hey? I'm gonna switch from my whisk now, guys, because we're gonna start adding the dry stuff. And it's gonna bung up the whisk real quick. So back to a spatula or a wooden spoon. I'm gonna scrape all that good stuff off, obviously. Okay, just a touch of vanilla, like a teaspoon. Pete, WTF, cannabis. When you hear edibles, Polish, all you think of is gummy candies. Okay, okay. Sammy, where'd it go?
To go to the bank, remember?
No, I didn't. Oh, to finish your stuff?
Yeah, I forgot to do this.
Ah, Sammy. Just a little bit of vanilla, guys. Can't do bacon without it, in my opinion. It's a must. April, your mom in Ontario gets the gummies to help her sleep. Exactly, yeah. It's like a lot of people use edibles either to sleep or for like body pain as well. So it's not as much of like a head or brain high as it is like just a relaxation of your muscles and stuff like that. Okay, so we're just gonna mix in our vanilla, but look at how nice and airy this is already. Holy smokes. And we did this all without a mixer? It is possible, guys. Humans can still do what robots do. Looking smooth. Yeah, Claire. You'd probably try cannabis again, but you'd never smoke it. Interesting, Paul. Okay, so our dry ingredients we have in this bowl. We have our flour, baking soda, and salt. Edibles is a whole other level. Yeah, it's a lot of different high compared to smoking. And that's what surprises a lot of people. Especially if you don't know your dosage. People can get into trouble for sure. So I'm being really gentle mixing this, guys, because we don't want to over mix it and make our cookies tough either. And then the other reason I'm being gentle is because we still have to add our chocolate chips. So I'm gonna stop there. You can see all of our flour has not been incorporated yet. No problem, Pete. I knew that was gonna happen, but I want to explore a little bit about cooking with cannabis since it's legal here now, so don't feel bad if you want to not participate in this stream. I will not hold anything against you, and it's definitely not going to be like this all the time. April tried to make lemon bars one time, forgot to add the sugar and the lemon. They were just bars. Hilarious. Okay, so 8 ounces of chocolate, and we only had 7.5, so we're bumping it up a bit with some salted caramel chips instead. And you're gonna want a nice dark chocolate with this. Yeah. And it says to use bars of chocolate instead of chips to get more chunky, bigger pieces of chocolate. If you use milk chocolate, it's just gonna be too sweet, and it just won't turn out the same. So a semi-sweet chocolate is the way to go, or dark, or bittersweet. Something along those lines. Indog, yeah, alcohol works too if you don't have CBD on hand. It's true, to each their own. I will not hold it against you guys if you don't want to participate in this. I kind of knew that was going to happen. So don't feel bad if you don't want to watch. This is just Baker's brand chocolate. Baker's Bittersweet. And I had this one as well. So a little bit of both. So 70% chocolate, that's gonna be dark. And that's why we need the salt. So salt and dark chocolate go like hand in hand together. And it makes it actually taste a little bit more sweet, surprisingly. Yeah, where's the golden ticket? So we're just gonna start by chopping this up. And using a serrated knife is gonna be the easiest. So chop it according to kind of how big you want your chunks. And you can start obviously bigger and go over it once more, once it's all kind of chopped up. But this is a lot of chocolate in these cookies, I have to say.
Schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
Schnozberries. Sweet and salty, yeah, John.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
Yeah, mega chunks, let's go. This is looking alright, isn't it? You have no eggs, Polish. No! But you know what you can substitute, Polish, is some banana mashed. Banana is a good substitute for eggs in baking. It won't have quite the same effect, but at least it's something for a binder. Okay, so I chopped them all diagonal this way. Now I'm gonna come back and do it this way, so we do get nice chunks. Kind of keep it all lined up. Sammy, what time do you have to be there for?
9 a.m. this morning.
Okay, well, I need to chill the dough for a couple hours anyways before I bake it, so we can't even bake the cookies yet. So do you want to just go together when you go? Because I'm done stream pretty soon.
Okay.
Well, what do you think?
Well, how long are you gonna be?
Maybe 10 minutes, not even. I just gotta mix the dough up, portion the balls into 18, and then we gotta chill it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess.
We can't skip this step, guys, because I'm afraid if we don't chill the dough, it's just gonna turn out to like pancake cookies. It's just gonna spread all over the tray and won't turn out. So we're gonna come back and stream afterwards. Calls for faves. Oh, like the big ass chocolate chips?
How long does it chill for?
Like a couple hours.
Oh, okay.
Okay, chocolate's going in.
Unless they want to build Legos while they chill it.
We gotta go do stuff
No,
though.
we'll go do stuff. We can bake them tomorrow.
Okay guys, what do you feel? You want to bake the cookies later today? Or do we want to bake them tomorrow? On stream together. Before dinner. This is going to be way easier to get this chocolate up. Chocolate. I feel hungry. We're gonna put all of the chocolate into the bowl.
Stream saying. What are you doing?
I don't know. They don't have an opinion. They're just here for the chocolate. Tomorrow, Anchovy says.
How many
18.
So 2 pans of 9.
Annie? I just saw that you gotta go. Bye, Annie.
Bye, Annie.
Thanks for the donos and the gifted subs, man. And good
Okay,
luck
okay.
with your exam. I know you said you won't be on tomorrow, so I hope you have a good week.
I can also do this real quick and then come back. I'll be done before you're
Sure, if you want. Okay, you guys say tomorrow. Okay, it has been spoken then. It is decided. So now we can fully incorporate all of our flour and our chocolate chips into the dough. And then we can portion them. 18 nice little cookies, even in size. And then tomorrow we'll bake them. It says a minimum of 2 hours in the fridge to chill. There is no maximum. These will last chilling in the fridge. Obviously, you gotta keep them covered if you're gonna go longer than 2 hours. I say these would last for like a good couple of days. And then in the freezer, last even longer once they're portioned. And that's a good little hack as well. So we want all the dry stuff incorporated, okay? That means getting all the way down to the bottom of the bowl. Okay, that's that. You can buy CBD oil in the UK now. Oh, that's good to know, April. CBD is like the thing that I think helps people the most. Welcome in, Rechainable. How are you? Yeah, definitely don't want to eat like 6 of these. Could get in trouble for sure, John. Okay, let's get a sheet pan. Get into this. Hey Davey, how are ya? I'm doing well, thanks for asking. Enjoying my day off. Making some cookies with you guys. So 18 cookies out of this. I think they're gonna be quite small. And you can either use parchment on your sheet pan, or if you have a silicone sheet, it's a really good investment, really good for baking cookies as well. Just something to help it not stick as they bake. So I'm gonna come in with this little portion scoop. It's like a little ice cream scoop. And we'll kind of divide it into 18 first, and then we can see how much extra batter we have left over. That's what they say, April, is that the prices are supposed to drop as the sellers increase. Vune, you're getting really tired. It's almost time for Betty. We're wrapping things up pretty quickly here. These cookies, they might perk you up. Maybe for the first little bit. But we did use indica strain instead of sativa. So indica is more relaxation. The way that I think of it is indica, you're into couch. Sativa is like a strain that gives you energy. So these cookies should definitely chill you out. Oh, you still got some work to do. Okay, that's fair. Most strains nowadays are hybrids. That is true. So yeah, most strains are hybrids. But the way that they're classified, obviously, is whatever strain has more presence. So if there's like 60% indica and 40% sativa, they're still gonna call it an indica. But then sometimes they do call it hybrid if it's like more of a even mix. It's hard to leave the stream until it ends itself. Feel the pain, guys. I feel ya. Just think about how hard it's gonna be to have these cookies in the fridge and waiting until tomorrow to bake them with you. That's the hard part, guys. Nike, I'm happy you're in here today for this. I was really hoping you would pop in. These cookies are like half chocolate. I don't even know how they're gonna stay together. So, let me ask this, guys. I'm guessing now that our butter has already been decarboxylated, can we eat the cookie dough raw? Is that a thing? Okay, so we have the 18 cookies and we have about this much dough left over, so I'm just gonna try to divide it as evenly as possible. Paul, I'm thinking I'm pregnant. Your sweet tooth isn't off the hook? I've had kind of a sweet tooth too. But you know why I think that happens, man, is like, sugar is definitely addictive. And like, as you keep eating it, your body's gonna want more and more, right? So that's why, like, once you kind of start eating sweet stuff, is you're gonna keep craving it. It's crazy. Eat it raw. There's only one way to find out. Okay, I'll eat like a little chunk. I'm not doing any driving today. Sammy's doing the driving. That way we can see how it tastes too. So, the flavor of the herb combined with the dark chocolate tastes like coffee. To my palate, it's like roasty and nutty almost. So not like a huge, strong weed flavor for sure. And there's no bitterness either. Love how you guys are just saying, well, good luck. Who knows? Maybe that little piece of dough will hit me hard. It's a sugar addiction. It's hard to stop. Like, sugar is in almost everything, right? Takes a good amount of self-control to say no to sweets, especially when they're free. Like, you guys ever been at work and someone brings in like something sweet? How can you say no to that? It's like, yes, I will indulge in this. Won't the cookies all melt into each other? That's why we have to chill the dough, Vune. It says minimum 2 hours in the fridge, uncovered. But we're gonna go overnight and then bake these babies off tomorrow on stream, first thing. That's how we're starting stream tomorrow. I'm not saying I'm gonna eat them on stream, guys, because I don't think that would end up very well, but I will bake some. Or maybe we will eat them on stream and then play games after. Maybe we'll play some Mario on the Switch and stream it with you guys. Okay, that looks pretty even. Obviously, we don't want to waste any of this. Some expensive stuff in here. Yeah, I'm just chilling them this way just to save some room in the fridge for myself. And now what we want to do is we want to kind of ball them up so they look a little bit more even. If we left the cookie dough like this and went to bake them, is the center will probably be raw by the time this flattens out onto the tray, and the outside will be burnt. Yeah, I'm gonna use 2 trays tomorrow. So all we wanna do now, just kind of ball this up. It's not gonna take much because the dough is really soft. That's the part I gotta learn to control, Nike. You've eaten like 6 brownies one time a year ago. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I had an interesting experience in Amsterdam on my own. So that was definitely a learning experience. But I also did not smoke back then, so it really hit me hard, right? Just be careful, guys. This is a new thing. Donuts are your Achilles heel. Man, donuts, you guys, donuts are for sure a weakness for me too. Yeah, it's like someone brings donuts to work, I am all over that. Like, I think I love donuts more than cookies. Donuts you'll pass on, Paul. Whoa. Do not forget to have some CBD on hand. That is actually something that I don't have in the house, is any CBD. My mom uses CBD to help her sleep when she started getting like menopause type stuff and she wasn't able to sleep at night. It actually really has helped her. She was so weary at first, like she wouldn't even go to the dispensary with me to get it. Is I had to pick it up for her and be like, this is gonna help you. And she only takes like 2 drops per night. So like a super small dosage, but you never know if you don't try, right guys?
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
Maka Waka? Are you serious? Gifting 5 tier 1 subs to the community. Thank you so much.
Oh.
Welcome in.
Yeah.
Yeah, time to make me cry again. You guys are insane. We've already gotten 15 gifted subs today. And
Oh, yeah.
about 100 or over $120 again today. Like, you guys crushed our food goal for New York. So I guess we're gonna be eating some good stuff. Aw, thanks, Mike Sai. I'm glad you noticed that the cameras are looking nice and new.
Oh, yeah.
It was a great investment, I think, for the stream. Okay, cookies have been portioned. We're gonna leave them in balls like this, I think. I usually bake my cookies balled up like this. I know some people like to flatten them a touch, but maybe we will just do one little press down so that when we sprinkle our sea salt flakes on tomorrow when we bake them, is they won't just fall off the side. Give it a little bit of surface area to sit on. So just make sure that you flatten them all out to the same height, so that when we bake them tomorrow, they'll bake all at the same time as well. And portion-wise, I think we did pretty good. This one and this one is pretty big compared to the others, but we are just eyeballing it. Okay, I'm just gonna wash up my hands. Pretty excited about this. You'd eat 2 of those, yeah. The dough is tasty. I will say that. You can hear your cat saying that all the time. Oh, yeah. It's like a creepy Kool-Aid man, though. It's not like the, oh, yeah. It's like the, oh, yeah. Okay, guys, we're turning it down. We turned it up a little bit with these cookies, turning it down until tomorrow. Simply because we have to follow the recipe. I firmly believe if we didn't chill this dough, is the cookies would just spread out all over the pan and it would just be a mess. So let's follow the recipe for the first time, as always. Keep things consistent. And we'll be back tomorrow. We will be cooking some Portuguese chicken from a meal kit box that I ordered for the first time. So kind of doing an experimental thing to see what all of this meal kit hype is about. So I got a coupon in the mail. That's why I decided to kind of go all into it. 25 bucks for 3 meals was what they sent. So this is what we're making tomorrow on stream for dinner. Portuguese chicken, charred scallion salsa with some rice, peas, and spinach. Kind of a healthy thing going on for sure. And then we will be obviously baking our edibles tomorrow on stream as well. I'm going to start at 3 p.m. PST tomorrow. It is posted on my channel page. Yeah, don't forget the milk. Yeah, definitely going to need some milk with these cookies. Nice stream to come back to. I'm glad, guys. And thanks for being like really understanding about cooking with cannabis, because obviously some of you are not for this. And I totally understand that. Like, I didn't really start using it until my mid-20s. So kind of a late bloomer, but it does help me with anxiety. And there's a lot of other great uses from it. And honestly, just everything in moderation. Whether it's your vice, cannabis or alcohol, or what you choose to eat. Thanks for the follow, Tom X. You'll be anxiously awaiting. See, Sammy did make it back. And we're still on. Who should we raid today, guys? Who should we roll on into? Let's see.
Is Hitch still on?
Hitch is still on.
Let's do it.
Anyone in food and drink that we haven't seen in a while?
Didn't see it over there.
No one that we really go into usually. Okay. Let's go see Hitch. Makawaka's like, yep, let's do it. So we're gonna go raid Hitch. Same as yesterday, guys. Fellow Vancouver Islandite. So what his stream is he hitchhikes around the world while streaming. It's pretty freaking cool. Let's go show him some love.
How much do you give?
How much effort do you give?
100%.
100%. This is Biker Sammy. Okay, good night, my wonderful people.
Good night, everyone. Have a
What
great
happened?
afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world.
I think my keyboard died.
Oh no.
I can't type.
What kind of battery does it need? Just tell me what you need.
Hitch is having a weird time. Triple A's.
Triple A's?
Triple A's. We need 2.
2 triple A's.
Hold tight.
Hold tight. Holding.
Streamer things.
All of the tights. One, 2, cover, on, go.
Okay.
Power, ready.
Hitch is getting drunk with a bunch of randomers in his last night in the UK. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, okay. No permission given. Okay, I don't know what's happening. I need to do this.
What's wrong now?
I don't know. Chat window just stopped working. Just let me raid. See? Okay.
It looks like those batteries are dead.
Okay, night, guys. Just copy paste it. Thanks, Vune.
Hold it. Hold it. That was way too loud.
Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? The struggle. We need to go.
I'm trying.
He's blacking out his stream now? Oh, whatever. He'll be back. He's probably just going to the bathroom. Should we go somewhere else, Makawaka?
There. It's working.
Okay.
I just got it.
We won't do Hitch then. Let's go see
Lullaboo.
Lullaboo. She's starting a weight loss challenge. Okay, let's support that. Okay, Lullaboo. Good one, Bune. Okay, take care, everyone. Thank you all for so much love that you share with me. I hope that I can inspire you to also cook at home and make delicious things for yourself.
And get ready for the 10+ hour daily streams in New York.
Thanks for everything. Makawaka,
Yeah.
thank you guys for all the gifted subs
Bye,
today.
everyone.
And the donos and the follows. Take care, and we'll be back tomorrow to cook some dinner and cookies with ya.
Turn her up.
I don't even have her on.
My name is Lulu. You probably came at a weird time. I understand this is a cooking stream, but we're kind of talking about yesterday's football game really quick, so we're gonna